Before anything, my fault for the bad quality. I didn't want to put out any YouTube content until I got an actual good mic, but I'm not gonna lie, this does mean a lot to me, as corny as that sounds, so I wanted to get it out the way now that it's still relevant instead of waiting until I get a mic and risking it not being relevant anymore when I touch on it. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed bad sound quality. To be honest with you, this video isn't going to be too long. I just want to go over a few things regarding the possibility of Xbox Live for original Xbox games. So seeing as these old games are becoming relevant again due to them becoming backwards compatible for the Xbox One, it doesn't seem too far-fetched that we could maybe see Xbox Live being re-enabled for these old games. Or maybe it is extremely far-fetched, who knows? But that's what I want to make this video for. I want to make the possibility less far-fetched to the point where it can actually happen. Because I know there's a good amount of people out there who started with an original Xbox game, and whether you played it religiously until the shutdown like I did, or moved on to a different game, when you heard the news about the servers getting shut down on April 15, 2010, yes, I still remember the day, chances are you revisited those old OG Xbox games so that you can enjoy them one last time. So this video isn't that much targeted towards Microsoft, it's more targeted towards the audience, because it's the audience that has to convince Microsoft that there is enough demand to consider the idea. So first and foremost, when you think about the Xbox, you always think about online gaming. Online is to the Xbox what Forge is to custom games on Halo. It just goes hand in hand.
Custom game options and Forge go together like peanut butter and jelly.
This is the case with all Xbox console generations, especially their first one, the original Xbox. The reason for that being is because Xbox was the first console to revolutionize online play thanks to the like of Halo and its matchmaking system. It made it accessible and easy for anyone to connect and play with people across the globe. So when you hear about original Xbox returning to the Xbox One just to find out that online won't be returning, it's only fair to feel a bit underwhelmed. Because the games that were a part of a console that revolutionized online will be missing just that, online. It's like if Burger King got rid of the Whopper Jr. only to bring it back without the bun, the part that supports the sandwich in the same way that online supports original Xbox games, offering way more than what you could do by yourself. This is the part where someone would respond saying you can still play the games online through System Link using outside sources like XB Connect and Xlink Kai to play the games online, but as someone who's used both those systems in the past, I and plenty of my friends can vouch they're the opposite of what Xbox Live was. They weren't accessible. To be able to use these programs, you have to go through a very tedious process to be able to play. You have to make sure you download the right version of whichever program you're going to use, download other programs like WinPCAP or whatever it was called, run these programs through your firewall, or turn off your firewall, which completely leaves you vulnerable to viruses. Make sure all the hardware and everything is properly set up, find your Xbox and so on, and even then it's not guaranteed to work. You might have to worry about port forwarding, which is a problem we felt was tied to relying on wireless connection, which lo and behold, pretty much everyone uses today. Port forwarding is not easy, by the way. I don't even know what it is. Most people don't, and to do it requires more than average computer level knowledge, I think. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it is. So a lot of times, your best bet to get it out of the way as soon as possible was to let a complete stranger team viewer your computer or any other way that gives them access to your computer to get everything working for you. And it just becomes overwhelming and you get discouraged.
More and more I find myself wondering if it's all worth
It just to be able to play with the same 5 people, because that's usually what you'll get. And the lack of players is due to, again, not being an accessible process. I used to play Conker Live and Reloaded religiously. It's still to this day my most favorite game of all time. On Xbox Live, we had plenty of people playing. When the Xbox Live servers shut down and we decided to move on to these programs, we went from a couple hundred on Xbox Live to maybe 10 on a good day on XB Connect, because again, how tedious the process was. For every 10 people who wanted to join, only one could join while the other 9 had some super specific issue that we had to rely on a complete stranger to team viewer for us, which of course was an idea people weren't comfortable with. A lot of important information exists on your computer. Why would you let a complete stranger get a hold of it just to be able to play a game that won't offer the complete experience you got when playing on Xbox Live? Which brings me to my next point, the experience. System Link just doesn't offer the same complete experience you got when playing these old games on Xbox Live. Conker L&R Reloaded, again, is a great example. Like pretty much any other OG Xbox game you played, you could use your mic and talk to other people. On System Link, however, you can't do this, restricting you to only using the chat for whichever program you're using. Maybe you could still use your mic for other games on System Link, but Conker was not one of those games, which for a game that encouraged so much socializing is a huge factor to be missing. Second, Conker had these upgrades that you could unlock through Xbox Live, but that's the key word, Xbox Live. So these upgrades didn't carry over to System Link or local play, which is a huge letdown because some of these upgrades took a considerable amount of grinding and skill to get, such as getting 1,000 kills with the Long Ranger, the sniper class, and for a game that has absolutely no auto-aim, I'm not kidding, it literally has no auto-aim, it really sucks to have something you worked so hard for getting completely locked off forever. System Link just doesn't offer the same experience compared to Xbox Live. A tedious process, all for a neutered experience, with a fraction of players you played with on Xbox Live, if any at all. All those players discouraged due to a lack of accessibility, which in a day and age where everything else is accessible is a huge issue if your product lacks accessibility. Xbox Live was accessible, even back then. With Xbox Live being re-enabled for these games, you get accessibility. Playing with other players is literally one button away, no port forwarding or team viewing. Now I know I said I wouldn't target Microsoft, but I just thought I'd touch on this a bit. I don't know the cost for re-enabling these servers, and I understand that you don't expect most people to buy an Xbox One just for old games, especially when you can buy a 360 and play all, if not most of the OG Xbox library. All of it is there without having to wait months for your game to get added to the list. That's if it ever gets added, considering the fact that some games won't be able to get added to the Xbox One backward compatibility list due to licensing issues and lost contracts. So chances are games like the classic Def Jam Fight for New York will never get added. But that's why it's important to give a feature that compensates for this. And what better feature could that be than re-enabling servers, even if it's at least exclusive for Xbox One players. This way, you'd be able to encourage console purchases as well as game purchases, killing two birds with one stone. It's definitely a grimy idea, but when it comes to nostalgia, we know how far people will go just to get their nostalgia fix. I have friends who said they'd go out and buy an Xbox One in an instant if it meant they could play Conker L&R Reloaded online again, even if access to such a feature was exclusive to Xbox One players. And almost in every video or forum that you go on that talks about original Xbox backwards compatibility, Xbox Live for these games is always brought up because again, you can't mention original Xbox without also mentioning Xbox Live. So Microsoft, please consider this. I don't have a survey or grid or pie chart detailing the percentage of demand, but going by the comment sections on all these forums and YouTube videos, there's some demand there. People want to play these games on Xbox Live again, not through a tedious, community-splitting, discouraging System Link process. Make it happen. As for the audience, continue to bring up the idea. Let it be known everywhere you want to play these games on Xbox Live again, and then maybe after 8 long years, we'll be able to play our favorite original Xbox games again. Full Xbox Live experience and all. This isn't like my other content, I know. I'm usually vulgar, but I decided to keep it professional for this video because if there's a chance, I would like it to get to Microsoft. It's been 8 years since I've been able to enjoy my most favorite game of all time in its entirety, and I would really like to revisit those memories. Because of that, this video might have been more rooted in emotion rather than rationality. But one thing's for sure, having these old games playable on Xbox Live again wouldn't hurt the consumer in any way. Well, unless if it's an Xbox One exclusive feature. It is pretty grimy if they do that. I mean, I'm not gonna deny that. But like I said, people will shell out their money regardless. Nostalgia makes people do things. Like me in this video, for example. But hey, at least it's more content to enjoy, with the addition of nostalgia. And best of all, no microtransactions.